and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and this is the My Pattern number 7. Almost forgot which one we are on already. So, yesterday's was super easy, complete beginner, happy kind of stuff. Today takes it to a whole new level. Um, when I got started with this, I was absolutely confused. Like, holy moly. It just didn't make sense where we were in it. Once the pattern kind of got going and I could see, okay, it's the blue that's coming down and doing the thing across. Once I got that part really kind of there, then it started making sense. I was okay with it. Um, Way more having to look at the pattern, way more trying to make sure that I'm on point with it. So, yeah, this is, again, it's still just the same two knots. It just takes more concentration to know when to use what knot, what color it's going to be, where you are in the pattern. Um, it's not so complicated. I had to go like open the image in GIMP and then cross off things as I did it. It's you can kind of see where you are and compare it to everything else, and that was okay. Um, it really just kind of starts. It just the way it started, I guess, kind of really kind of threw me off a bit. Um, it's a very interesting looking bracelet. We get to the end, obviously, you'll get to see the overall thing to it. Um, it doesn't give me like like, oh, that reminds me of a thing, or um, I don't know. Well, it's sort of almost in the middles, almost implies like a hashtag kind of look to it, which is sort of neat. Sort of here and there, just this little thing. But overall, it's just, there's just I don't know, it's a lot kind of going on. It's striking. It's very different. It's definitely not something that I normally kind of went about making or anything like that. Um, but I wouldn't be, opposed to making other variations of this or bigger versions or something. Like I might actually do, um, uh, like double this. Just there's part of me that's like really kind of curious. What would this look like if we tried to double the pattern? I think I mentioned it while I was making the pattern yet earlier, right? I did, right? Yeah. Just there's a lot going on over here at home, guys. I tell you. So beyond just making bracelets. So yeah, but I do think that could be cool, right? That could be a yeah. We'll see. So anyway, um, yeah. Once it kind of got going, like here, like when I was coming down with the this with the red and stuff. Um, Kind of established out like that was the end of that part of the diamond, and now with the blue, um, it sort of begins to make more sense. I can see how to do the inner part of, because I don't know if it's really a diamond. It's really just a like an angle or something, right? Because it doesn't do the whole outer part. So yeah, um, doing that angle side and kind of recognizing where that is and what how the other color acts inside of it. Once that started to become a thing, it it was easier to kind of see where I was and what I was doing. And where the other one was like there were 6 yellow rows coming down, which felt like a lot, right? Like, oh, I've done this before, I've done it again, done it. You know, this um this blue making this diamond shape only happens 3 times. So despite this being a little harder and requiring me to spend a little bit more time looking at the pattern and everything else, in some ways it felt quicker, right? It wasn't, but it felt quicker because that redundancy, that repetitiveness isn't quite there because it changes so much, right? It's a bigger section, so it takes a little longer to complete that. But once you kind of see, oh, I'm doing a thing, and you kind of get going with it, it's like your mind just stops like thinking about, how long is this taking, and just gets into the, oh, I just do this, and now I just have the short rows of doing, two and then two and two. And there's just something kind of mesmerizing about that. And that before you know it, you're into that next section. And um yeah, it just kind of goes along. I mean, it just really psychologically makes you feel like you are going faster, which I like. I like that a lot. That's, you know, I'm sure I've talked about this before in other videos. It's it's a thing about tricking yourself into feeling the sense of an accomplishment, even if it's just getting through a row or getting through a segment or getting through whatever it is. For me, it's probably all about the ADHD. It's about getting my body to reward me with some of the dopamine for doing a thing. And if I can convince myself that just get through this section and then, and then I get a little reward for it, yeah, there we go. Um, yeah, that's gonna help propel me to getting things done. And this is probably why, like, I see a lot of people out there who have so many bracelets started but never finished. And why I don't have that is my bracelets are finished because I'm getting excitement all the way through it, and then I get an extra excitement that, an extra way bigger chunk of dopamine when the whole thing is completed. Like, I really give myself the attaboys for completing it. So if you're having a hard time getting through your bracelets, maybe that's the trick. I mean, it works for me, right? It's my trick. It's totally tricking my brain into this, idea of how I need to get through it. I need to finish this. And I can't guarantee that that's going to work for you, but knowing that it works for me, and it may have taken time for me to kind of build up this sort of a relationship with this idea of, we're being excited about, whatever accomplishment it is. Um, I don't know quite how I kind of worked that out or how that came to be, but I definitely recognize it now, and I know that I use it as a motivator all the time. So, like, today's been a really long day, but even just making this video and getting this out is again my I'm going to be super happy when this is done, and this is awesome, and I can put it in my journal that I accomplished, making a pattern and making a bracelet. And there's that feels very, very rewarding. So yeah, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Like, I kind of really, I know I put a lot of time and effort into these making it videos, and they seem to be a little bit long. I don't know, maybe not too long, but um, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you guys kind of, you know, get some nuggets of ideas and benefit out of my ramblings. There's so many things go through my head while I'm making these bracelets and working on stuff. And I want to share it with you guys. I want you guys to have some insights and some encouragement, and get you guys motivated in making stuff for yourselves. So that's what I'm hoping. before the end surprise me, I want to make sure that I thank my Patreon supporters who make these videos possible. I couldn't really do it without them. So thank you guys so much for that. Um, yeah. Yeah. If you guys want to join Patreon, it's Patreon /AKA AWOL. So that's me. It's basically the same name, whatever social media you look at for me. So that's me. Um, so yeah, this bracelet is it's still a little bit towards the beginners. It's just going to take a beginner a little bit more patience to be able to see where things are going. Honestly, it's leaning more towards the intermediate. Um, but I still think a beginner could probably do this one. Honestly, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's just right knots and left knots, and um, the only thing that they are going to have to really concentrate on is like it wants to kind of bend a little bit to one side or the other, and you'll see I make adjustments along the way. So you have to kind of adjust your tensions. Um, you have to correct it when it starts to get out of line. But you know, those are good skills to have. Like that's what you want before you start doing anything too crazy. So so I think this is the last of the pink ones. It kind of looks more red on the screen. I've been trying to figure out how to get the colors balanced, and they were looking kind of like a lot of the colors were looking dull before. It looks like maybe it's almost too bright. I need to. If anybody knows like how to properly balance colors with this kind of stuff, um, I'd be really interested in hearing about that. Or if you have a video that you can send me to. I know that there's like a card that like professionals use to match colors and stuff. But those things tend to be really stupid expensive. It's just a card, right? I mean, I don't I don't understand why those are expensive. And I don't make so much with the Patreon that I'm just going to go run out and buy one of those things, if it's like 50, $60. I mean, that's crazy. Um, I'll deal with dull colors if I have to, then that at least at least until we get monetized, you know. Maybe after that we can up the production values or something, but right now I just don't have that kind of money for this stuff. Yeah, you can kind of see that it's looking a little bit wavy there. I think at some point I probably adjust it because it doesn't look so bad in my hand. But that to me is it definitely needs a little tugs. Yeah, see there you go. And that's where I adjusted it. So yeah, so this is the last blue one. Like I said, once I kind of got this going, um, I kind of intuitively knew what to do with each one of the segments. I did, I had it down. Um, but that might be just because I've made a lot of bracelets because, well, I made the pattern, right? Um, this might be more like a pattern that you do spend all the time looking at it. And I do think that the way I kind of worked it out, like my version of segmenting here, because it's really not that segmented, but the way I went about it was what I expect to be probably the fastest method for this pattern. Honestly, like I really try to keep it as simple as possible and make it go as quickly as possible. So hopefully you get that from this video and it helps you, and that you get something from that. That would be awesome. So if you haven't already, please hit like on the video. Those that you guys would be surprised how much that really helps the channel. I don't know what it does to the YouTube thing, but it helps it spread the video out to more people, which is awesome. Let's see. Yeah, we're really close to the end now. The pink row comes down and does a little stuff. Yeah, the beginning and the end, it kind of end, where it ended on either end, um, slightly weird, but it makes it the right length, so that's okay. And I think when the bracelet's around your wrist, nobody's going to notice that really either. So the middle, I like having my middle be perfect and whatever. So yeah, well, thanks again for hanging out this long. This has been, again, this is just another one of those fun kind of challenges where I have an idea and I have to run with it. And I like where it went. I really like how this whole pattern went. So yeah, maybe we will try the double, because I think that would be a lot of fun as well. Take a lot longer to make, but whatever. That's still cool. Yeah, here comes the big reveal, guys. All right, well, thanks for watching, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.